Talker Tuesday brought to you by Northern Fire Grilling and Barbecue Supply. Keep those Vikings-centric talkbacks coming. Free iHeartRadio app. Hit the microphone. Give us up to your best 30 seconds, and we'll continue to play them for a Talker Tuesday that just happens to be, in this case, on a Wednesday, 9 to noon.
Hold on here 1 second. We're about ready to go. Make sure TwinCitiesLive.com was that dollar special. We start.
You're listening to 9 to Noon.
We start, not Twin Cities Live. Dane, what's the website?
Should be just TwinCities.com, right?
TwinCities. TwinCities.com? TwinCities.com. What the heck am I missing here? Now, why in the heck would something called Twins Daily pop up here? What the heck is that? Yeah, TwinCities.com, man. I got, with Ben Lieber tomorrow, I had Twin Cities Live on my mind, and thus the L. So, Covenant Cleanup, provided by nobody. TwinCities.com. Dane Mizutani covers the Minnesota Vikings for that and the Pioneer Press. Good morning. What's going on? Thanks for helping.
I'm glad to be here, and we're in the dog days of training camp, so honestly, I never thought I'd say this, but let's get this preseason game on the road because we need something. We need something. Quarterback competition in full swing, but
here we are.
The dog days.
Here we are. Okay, I'm taking more L's right now. I mean, come on, Paul. Okay, so I've signed up for TwinCities.com. So of course he goes right to all the stories. Do you guys still have the $1 for like a year bit going on?
Yeah, we always have some. I don't know if it's $1 for a year
or whatever it is.
We always have some sort of deal going on where you can get in.
There we go.
At really, really a pretty good value. And,
Premium Digital is $1 for 1 year.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, Nordo, saving the day. Premium Digital, $1 for the entire year. TwinCities.com. And that gives you the opportunity to follow Dane's work covering the Minnesota Vikings there each and every day. He qualified right now as the dog days of training camp, and then issued up the quasi-proclamation. Never thought I'd say this, but I can't wait for the preseason game. That's at MetLife Stadium. So define dog days of training camp. Like, what do you mean?
I think it's just when you start to feel like you're in the hamster wheel, when every day it feels like you're driving back to Egan and didn't I just do this? Or you're driving home from Egan, didn't I just do this?
Yep.
It's a good thing though. This is what I was yearning for in early to mid July, so I can't be complaining about it now in early August. At the end of the day, we get paid to go out there and watch the Vikings practice, and I can't complain. But
you're also 3 months away from Wild Morning Skate.
I always love that one.
So that'll be a curveball of life coming at you, you know?
Just a jack of all trades for the Pioneer Press.
100%. At Dane Mizutani via X, DaneMizutani, and at TwinCities.com to follow the website. Sign up for $1 a year. They would really appreciate it, and so would we. Now, with this being the dog days of summer, as you described, and you start to hear. We got a lot of high red and a lot of low red and a lot of your best when your best is required. I mean, you start to hear the same things over and over. If I were to say to you, what do you think will be the most popular, prominent, and prevalent thing you start hearing from players and coaches next week up to the Giants game? What do you think it'll be?
I think they will keep talking about, like, if we're just talking about players and coaches, it's just going to be the fundamentals, the techniques.
Could be.
It's just going to be the cookie cutter responses because I think they feel like they're in the dog days of camp too.
Yeah.
And it does seem like everybody is still in some ways kind of tiptoeing around the quarterback competition. Nobody wants to dive too deep into it from a team perspective because I think they understand this thing is still going to play itself out. However, if we get a announcement at some point before then, I think fair game. But right now, it just feels like everyone is just kind of trying to play out the string until that thing is figured out.
Well, with respect, I think you identified the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth most prominent things we'll hear next week to a man. And I got some bet to me, too. I guarantee you, what we hear more than anything next week is, Can't wait to hit somebody in another colored jersey.
I always love that one.
I mean, it's going to start Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. Can't wait to hit somebody wearing another colored jersey.
That's where we're at.
You know that's coming.
That's where we're headed. And I've done this long enough. I should have known better. That we are going to get to that point where every single one of these guys, single one of these guys.
How long have you covered the Vikings?
This is my 4th year as the full-time guy, but I used to help my guy, Chris Thomason, quite a bit.
So you haven't been around long enough to call the sports editor and say, I need a veteran's day off from camp?
I always love that.
Like Odaris on it or something like that?
No. I don't know. I guess I would qualify as a veteran at times. I've been here 10 years, but no. Jace Frederick,
you just want to get your second deal.
Jace Frederick's busy enough. He can't be giving me off days.
Well, Thomason would never take a day off, would he?
No.
I mean, he wasn't going to miss a presser with Zim, no doubt about
Thomason would hear 9 to noon, just utter the name Hassan Reddick in passing, and he'd be at Lindbergh Terminal like 15 minutes after he heard it, just in case. And then he'd roll into a press conference, piss off Zim, and then we'd look forward to hitting the other colored jersey and just move on to the Giants game.
Call it a day.
Yeah. What's sticking out to you through the padded portion of the equation? Shells yesterday, right?
Shells yesterday.
Yep. Monday with some pads, but kind of a medium-ish pace. Intel or Steam is that today with the pads, with the day off tomorrow, that we're going to have some rough and tumble, fast, high football action today.
It seems like today is going to be the big one. I think with Monday, first day in pads, yesterday, Shells, it's all gearing up for today. But man, Chuck Demings keeps standing out to me.
Wow.
That guy,
really?
5th round pick out of Stephen F. Austin, he plays physical. And we noticed that outside of the pads when they were just kind of acclimating last week. Mm-hmm. You can see the physicality that kid plays with when the pads have come on. Even yesterday, they're in Shells. Last play of practice, Kyler Murray completes a pass to Juwan Jennings. Pretty good throw, pretty good catch. And there's Chuck Demings over there wrapping Juwan Jennings up over the head.
Wow.
A little bit of a back and forth, all in good fun. But that kid plays with some tenacity. He's definitely stood out early in camp and certainly once the pads have come on.
Norda was there yesterday. I wasn't. He says Kyler and McCarthy never interact with each other. Do you see or feel the same thing like during the course of practice?
Yeah, it's not Kyler has a great throw. J.J. McCarthy's over there dapping him up. It's not J.J. McCarthy has a great throw. Kyler Murray's over there dapping.
It's not that.
No, they don't interact. They don't interact a ton, and I don't think it's out of any sort of malice. I think it's just these guys are locked into a competition, and that's okay. I'm sure they have a relationship of some sort when they are in the quarterback's room off the field, but you don't see a ton of rah for each other. But I don't expect to see that when these guys are competing against each other for the starting role.
Yeah, I'm glad you put it that way because just kind of
I hadn't noticed that.
At first, I'd seen other conversations about it, and it's so glaring, specifically at practices where they're really not within 10 feet of each other. And so, with that said, though, one guy is trying to get out of the gates in his career after a tough start, injuries, and some performance issues. The other guy is trying, this is an audition maybe for $40 or $50 million a year. So both of these guys are looking like career imbalance, maybe for different reasons. To see them out there yucking it up, playing catch with each other before practice, that would feel in some ways maybe performative in some respects. These guys are competitors. They're trying to take that job. And I don't see any problem with that. Do you, Dane?
Not at all. And I think I should clarify or highlight this. It hasn't felt at all disrespectful or strange. It's just that they're not interacting on a snap to snap basis.
Right.
And like you said, that's okay. I mean, we want to see that competitive fire out of these guys, so I'm not going to criticize them for showing it to us, however they will. And I'm sure they have I'm sure it's not in the facility, they don't speak at all. Like, they have some sort of relationship. They're in the same quarterback's room. They all are pushing each other. They just don't speak a ton during practice.
Dane Mizutani covers the Minnesota Vikings and also writes about the Minnesota Wild for the Pioneer Press, TwinCities.com. TwinCities.com, just $1 for premium digital coverage for a year. Check it out as 9 to Noon has. And we'll be back to chat about Max Bredesen, quarterback utilization in the preseason, and much more when 9 to Noon continues on your home for Minnesota Vikings football, FM 100.3 KFAN.
What in the ham fat is going on with you guys?
What the ham fat's going on? Dane Mizutani, TwinCities.com. Max Bredesen, QBs and preseason games, day off tomorrow. Full throttle padded action expected today. The social media bit that I forgot to ask Teasley yesterday. I want to get Dane's opinion on that. But let me begin here. Who are these people you have been escorting around camp? New writers, job shadows? I mean, it's like, I'm on the exclusive Vikings Radio Network perch, and here comes Dane. Say hi to Dane, and his arms all the time. But like one day it's this young lady, then the next day somebody else, then the guy with the mustache. Like who are all these people you're bringing to camp?
Well, the young woman who was with me, her name's Anya. She's our summer intern at the Pioneer Press. She's great.
Oh, sweet.
She's done a really good job. Kind of bouncing all over the place. We're pretty thin at the Pioneer Press in terms of staff, so this is not a pitch, but our internship's really good because you get to do everything. So she was out there helping with some Viking stuff, but she's done a really good job.
Good for her.
So that was the other day. I'm trying to think who else.
Well, the other lady might have been a Jordan something, a national writer.
Yeah. I think that
Rodriguez or something.
There's just a bunch of national writers who come in. I think Jory Epstein was here.
That's who it was, Jory Epstein. Thank you.
Henry McKenna was here. So you see everybody right now kind of parachuting in and out of camp because it's the dog days of training camp.
When you chat with national media members who come to Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, do you find like when you're chatting privately and they're asking questions and you're peppering them like, hey, what do you think about this? Is it generally always the low-hanging fruit stuff? And I bring it up because Kurt Menefee was at camp on Monday. And Kurt Menefee he's a big-time football broadcaster. And he was doing a camp tour, was at the Packers like Sunday or whatever, and Egan on Monday. So I'm chatting with him, and the first question he asked me was, what do you, and I think he probably had talked to somebody before because they hadn't practiced yet. And he's asking me about Ty Felton's speed. Like, whoa. Like, hey, you don't usually get that from the Nationals when they roll in here. Normally it's Kyler this, JJ that, Jefferson this, Addison that. But he's like, with Felton into his second year and Jennings signed as a free agent, what do you think about that? Like, who's going to be the three? And I think Jennings would be prohibitively favored to play more snaps than Felton. But then we start watching practice, and I'm like, damn, Ty's having a good practice. So when you chat with national media members, do they always go right to the quarterback, right to O'Connell talkers, new GM, or do they get in the weeds with like Felton and Jennings and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would say generally speaking, the low-hanging fruit is the A topic. So these people are coming in to write for their publications from a national perspective, and the biggest talker from a national perspective for the Vikings is the quarterback competition. So that is where the conversation starts. But yeah, it can vary from there. Sometimes after we talk about the low-hanging fruit, maybe we will get into the Ty Feltons of the world. But I think, it starts there. And I think to their credit, the national writers who come in have those conversations with the beat writers to make sure that they are on the correct path as far as how they are seeing this low-hanging fruit a topic.
Well, with when we start to mostly chat on the side, road hotels, stuff like that, about the numbers. All right, so how many receivers are they going to keep Alec? How many receivers are they going to keep Dane? I've like with receivers, I've kind of been married to the number 5 for a while because you got Bredesen. I know they like Xavier Scott a lot on special teams, but Zay could be in a tough spot with Claiborne. But you got the obvious two, then you got Jennings. So they're cinches if they're healthy. After that, Felton will be on the team, right? Miles Price is qualified as a receiver, even catching some passes at training camp. So, like Jayshon Jones or the Dylan Bell, who a lot of you guys were tweeting, and you guys, you follow things, or you see things or press conferences more than I do in the off season. So, I mean, you guys are either getting background steam or you're watching things that you love, and respected opinions with like you, Ben, Seifert, Alec, and so on. So, but Dylan Bell, unless I'm missing something, he's kind of fallen off the map here a little bit, training camp, hasn't he?
No, you're right. And I think 5 is the right number for receivers. And because, like you mentioned, there are so many other position groups that have to contribute in some way, shape, or form, maybe outside of their position group. I say that because, like you said, Xavier Scott, he might not seem like a guy you want to keep around as running back 3 or 4, but you have to because of the role he plays on special teams, not to mention the role he's proven that he's capable of playing at running back. Ivan Pace Jr., some people have just cut him, but he's a guy who Matt Daniels mentioned out of nowhere or out of the blue to highlight Ivan Pace Jr. is going to play a role on special teams this year.
So some people think he might be a splashy cut?
I think so because of the Jamal Adams signing. But when you look at kind of where these guys are going to contribute, you have to then kind of take from another position group. So instead of keeping 6 receivers and maybe keeping the Dylan Bell, I think you probably do end up at 5 receivers.
Yeah.
Dylan Bell is a fun story in the spring. But he's a guy who I think, and receivers, the position itself lends itself to making eye-popping plays in organized team activities, in OTAs. But once we've gotten into training camp, have not seen Dylan Bell working with the ones very often. It's been a lot of Ty Felton. It's been a lot of Miles Price once, after the Jeffersons, the Addisons, the Jennings of the world. So I think we'll probably end up at 5, but I think you can get Dylan Bell onto the practice squad. I think you can get Jayshon Jones onto the practice squad. I think you can get Dante Fleming onto the practice squad.
Fleming's fast.
Very fast. Long speed. Very just kind of long-limbed. And
he was a high-end baseball player in college, too, I believe, or in high school, but he was really, really good at baseball.
He's just an athlete, and you can tell. It's just so hard with how many other position groups are on this team to kind of see them keeping 6. Maybe that can change if somebody pops in the preseason.
So 3 quarterbacks on the active roster?
I think so. Yep.
Okay. 5 running. I mean, with the right to change these opinions. Jones, Mason, Claiborne, Bredesen as a fullback. So you could maybe stop at 4, but I mean, I'm putting Xavier Scott in the mix.
Yeah, I think I cut Xavier Scott in my initial 53-man roster projection last week, and I don't feel good about that.
Right.
Just watching practice, he's going to make the team. He's really good.
But then, like what you said, you got to pull somewhere else, and maybe it could be with defense. But offensive line, I don't know if they keep 9 or 10, if they have a tell there, or if they have history there with that. I mean, I'm thinking 9. You think 9 sounds good?
I'm at 9. Yep.
Gerhardt practice squad?
Yep, Gerhardt practice squad. I think Henry Bird, he's the other guard I got. He practice squad. But
okay.
Yeah, I think you can get to 9. I don't think you need a full backup offensive line for what the Vikings have.
So if you're at 5 receivers, 3 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 9 offensive linemen, and then 3 tight ends, that gets you to 25. So that then gets Flores to 25. Generally, it's a 26-24. So, do you think 3 tight ends is light with Hawkinson, Oliver, and then where you go after that?
I think I go to Gavin Bartholomew. That guy continues to make plays throughout camp. He did not play as a rookie with a back injury. And Ben Urosic was good, but I think you can get him to the practice squad. And unless they're using a bunch of new personnel, I think 3 tight ends works. Unless they go the full LA Rams bit and start using 4 tight end sets. I think 3 tight ends make sense. And Gavin Bartholomew is a guy who has continued to make me turn my head in training camp.
Right. Max Bredesen utilization in preseason games. So here's what I'm getting at is we see enough with Bredesen and that fast use check type motion. And I don't think it's, being Barney the Purple Dinosaur here or overstating it by saying he has some heat-seeking missile to him. Everything is full speed. And you can tell he loves to hit, and he's looking forward to hitting somebody in a different color jersey to pave the way for somebody. So, you see that quick jet stuff with Bredesen, even though he never gets the ball. Then you got Jennings on the next level. So we're starting to but even though they're not showing, I think it's very interesting. They're not showing any Kyler Murray runs. I mean, there are no quarterback reads or the bit where they're in the shotgun, got Jones next to him, hold it, then take off. So we're not seeing any of that, I believe, which I think, will be a factor in the regular season, Bredesen being part of that. But because you've watched more camp than me, any sterling, breathtaking Murray running moments in training camp so far?
Not really, and I think that's by design.
Yeah, I agree.
I think to your point about not seeing any quarterback runs, I just don't think you need to show your hand. I think the fans are there. Some fans are taking videos in the stands. The last thing you want is a video of a Kyler Murray run to end up on social media and then have the Packers and the Bears and the Dolphins and the Bucks coaches all just kind of taking note of that. I say that kind of tongue in cheek, but that is a thing that I think coaches are cognizant of. So haven't seen him run the ball a ton. There was one play the other day, and it's so hard to discern in training camp because you can't tackle the quarterback.
Yeah.
So
was it the Monday half speed?
It was
where he shook on Ty Ingram Dawkins.
Yep.
Half speed, and Ty got pissed off, went full speed, and Kyler went 3/4 speed, and Ty couldn't get close.
It was
Kyler's so fast,
and that's the thing. I'm like, would he have been sacked there? But if I just play out the string and I watch Kyler Murray in practice with an eye of, I think Kyler Murray's been doing this long enough to understand if I would have been sacked, I'm not going to extend the play. He basically told us that at the start of camp.
Right.
So Kyler extends the play. He rolls left, shakes a guy, and then kind of just drops one in the bucket to Justin Jefferson. And that was the only time in camp where I saw the legs of Kyler Murray and thought, that's how it could look in week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. But overall, not a ton of motion and movement with Kyler Murray, but I think by design.
And lastly, Dane Mizutani, TwinCities.com, Pioneer Press, covers the Vikes. Caleb, I'm just going to lay it out like this and do what you want. Caleb Banks with pads on.
Whew, man, Caleb Banks is one of the largest human beings, or most imposing human beings I have seen in a Vikings uniform in a really long time.
Agreed.
And that's not hyperbolic. His legs... My torso is the size of one of his legs. So just line me up 2 times.
Yeah.
2 of my bodies. Those are Caleb Banks' legs.
Yeah.
Tree trunks. The guy is just an imposing presence on the defensive line. He was without pads on. He is even more with pads on. And I can look at him make plays in practice, and there's going to be some growing pains throughout the year. I understand that. But I can watch what he's already done in practice and how he's blowing up certain plays and how he's handling one-on-one drills. And I can understand why the heck the Vikings used a number 18 pick on him.
Right.
I think if this guy doesn't hurt his foot last year at Florida, he's a top 10 pick because he's so big, he's so explosive, and he's a guy who I think the Vikings right now are giving every opportunity to play a major role right away. And they should, because I think that guy has the potential to be pretty special.
You're awesome, man. Thanks for coming over, and I'll see you at practice today.
Can't wait.
Dane Mizutani, TwinCities.com. Back after this.
Brought to you by the casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com. Poker, blackjack, and table games all year round. Live racing is in play right now. Cool family days on Sundays at Canterbury. I encourage you, as I've done, to take the kids out there. $2 or $3 for Dave's Faves. Smack a couple of bets, and you're leaving as winners at the best place in Shakopee.
Hey,
it's Canterbury Park.
That's nice you said that because Dave Handelin, Dave's Fave, Superstat Dave, it was last Thursday, so 8 days ago, with that tip sheet we have sold by the gift shop and also by the casino entrance, $3. Yes. Best $3 you can spend, by the way. Last Thursday, we ran 9 races. He picked 7 winners.
Yep.
And including an 11-1 shot in the first race where he gave you the trifecta cold, which means top 3, and it paid a ton of cash. So, yeah, when you come to Canterbury, plunk that $3 down for Super Stats Dave and Dave's Faves.
Well, as I've said, I only go out there 3-4 times a year. You know this. Every single year, I leave a winner. It funds my trips to go by paying $3 and trusting Dave. You're not going to win every time, but you will leave a winner if you trust in Dave's faves over the Grand Hall. I love Statsy.
I'm telling Cappy 05.
Okay, yeah, perfect. To the Twins, Bobby Witt Jr. Oh, wait a minute, he plays for the other team.
And that's down the line past Lee. Bobby Witt Jr.'s 3 for 3 in his return from the injured list. He drives in Isbell. Here comes Jensen. 2 on the board for the Royals. Bobby Witt Jr. takes advantage and gets to third. Instant ignition from the Royals superstar. Oh, is it good to have him back?
Woo, take a listen to this crowd.
Yeah, they're pretty pumped up down there at Kauffman. Randy Dobnak, former Twin, current Royal, was at Target Field last week. He went 6 or 7 through, allowed 4 hits and no runs. This time around, not as spotless. He only went 5, but he allowed 3 hits. And just 1 K for him, but it was enough as Joe Ryan, 7 hits and 5 runs over his 5 1/3.
Man, JoJo's just way off right now.
Well, I'm curious, and there's got to be, and I'm going straight from my head and just my vibe with, is Joe Ryan just always rough after the All-Star break? And I'm just throwing that out there. And hardcore Twins fans, you can tell me that I'm a complete L and that that this is just an anomaly. But whether it was a few years ago, I'm thinking about the playoff run. We've mentioned it, that he throws a complete game shutout against the Red Sox at home. Then he tweaks something at the Braves game and is a complete mess. Gave up 5 in the first 2, 5 home runs in the first 2 in Atlanta, and it was a rough stretch for him to work his way back in a playoff year. And it kind of feels that way again with Joe. So rough outing. Dobnak got us again. We didn't solve that. We're now 2 games under 500.
Joe Ryan's earned run average last year, August and September. From August 1st through the end of August, he had 6 starts. 6 starts or all starts. Earned run average 4.01. Not great, but doable.
Okay, not disastrous.
And September he had 4 starts. His earned run average was 6.75.
That was last year.
year. So let's quick twitch to 2024. All-Star game always in the middle of September. So here we go. July. Friday, July 12th. Okay, then All-Star break. Then July 21st. So his earned run average in July of 2024, 5.48. Then he pitched a couple in August. Then he got hurt. Earned run average 3 and change. That almost doesn't count because of the injury. 2023 is August earned run average. Oh, geez, it was just 8. His September earned run average 5.5. And then in a playoff game against Houston, he went 2 innings, gave up an earned run, and got pulled. Wow,
okay, so that is...
No, you low-key nailed something there, man.
I think that's a thing. Okay.
I think it's kind of high-key.
So the tale of 2 Joe Ryans.
Yeah, what is that? I don't get me thinking about it.
I don't get it at all, but it was not good for the Twins as they didn't get it done, and they lose 8-2. Now, for those of you that are pumped about new things, you are going to get to see Mr. Kramer today, as in, I believe his name is Dean Kramer, former Oriole. Now he's a member of the Twins. He's set to make his debut start as a member of the Minnesota Twins later today.
Interesting.
And that's another 640 start. In terms of damage done, wild card race, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Twins still 4 back in the division, still 1 back in the wild card. So this is a high sample size game. So nothing was ruined yesterday per se. Well, my goodness, can we just beat Dobnak? My goodness, can Ryan find his form later stages here?
But it's the same thing today. Okay, Dobnak played on the emotions because he used to be within the covenant. The game you brought the girls to, Noah Cameron hasn't been in the covenant. And Noah Cameron is a middle-of-the-road pitcher at best.
Yeah.
And, he was so good at Target Field last week, I'm texting the con in the 6th inning saying, if you guys are thinking about leaving, don't. Because the Twins are about to get no hit. Now, I think it was Jeffers who got a hit in the 7th.
It was the first hit, yeah.
Yeah, and then Clemens walks off. So they win a game they were a 98% loser in. But they hooked Cameron today. I'm not making a proclamation with this baseball team until I feel it again. I was so convinced that with the day off, they would smash Dobnak.
Yeah.
And Ryan would snap to life, and they would beat the Royals by at least 2 runs or more, especially given Kansas City had scored 8 runs in 3 games against the Ratty Rockies, and then they scored 8 runs in a single game against us. So that caught me off guard last night. I'm a little stung by the old Twinigmatics and their enigmatic ways. Kramer, lifetime against the Kansas City Royals. They have a 288 batting average against him. Their on-base plus slugging is 801, which is a really, really good number. Bobby Witt Jr. got all his albums. He came off a layup yesterday, made the Twins pay. He's 4 for 14 with a home run lifetime against Kramer. Salvador Perez, Sally Perez, 3 for 11 with a home run, 3 RBI, good OPS. And Michael Massey. And Massey got us a little bit last night, I think. His OPS is 1.429. So these guys have kind of knocked Kramer around the yard a little bit. But they're still the freaking Royals, man. And if you think Amos Otis and Freddie Patek are going to roll in to ruin a season, it's not supposed to happen.
Mike Massey, like the trick pool shooter of old?
Yeah.
The Royals have lost Cameron's, by plane, train, or walk-off. They've lost 4 consecutive starts when he takes the mound. But 2 in a row, man. No earned runs in his last 15 innings pitched for Cameron. So that
all right. Well, that's
got a break today. Come on.
He caught us. We have a losing record. Who was the other one?
It was Detroit. They were in Detroit the previous start.
See, the
2-1 spine tingler.
The Kitties are interesting now because they move Skubal, and generally that doesn't go over well in a clubhouse. Skubal debuted last night at Wrigley Field and got beat, and quite honestly, he didn't look great. He debuted for the Dodgers. But ever since Skubal left, they're scoring like 9 runs a game. So it's, how much did you guys not like this Tarek Skubal thing?
He lost his opener last night for the Dodgers as well.
That's what I just said. And he got knocked around a little bit and didn't. Anyway,
sorry, I was looking at something else. My fault.
That's okay.
Clipping penalty.
But ever since he left, they're scoring 1 million runs. When Cameron caught them, they weren't scoring 1 million runs. They were a little stuck. So baseball is so fascinating in August and September. I just love it this time of the year.
Yeah, and the Dodgers, by the way, with that loss, 5 straight L's. I think they got swept by the Sox, and then the first 2 here against the Cubs. So 400 million be damned. Baseball is a tricky game. They
can't hit. It's like the other day in the weekend wrap is we're talking about Skubal, but it's like if they just start hitting, they're going to win the World Series. They really miss Will Smith. I don't know if he's coming back or not, but man, Kyle Tucker has just been an L for that squad the whole year.
Last thing, and maybe we'll ask our next guest about it, but Falcons edge rusher Jalen Walker is going to miss the season with an ACL. I did mention that in the opening hour.
Yep.
But just kind of looking at this right now, like if you're Kevin Stefanski, so you escape Cleveland in some ways, and you no longer have to participate in the Shedeur Sanders versus Deshaun Watson versus Dylan Gabriel versus, hey, they drafted Taylon Green in the 6th round of this last draft.
Really?
So you don't have to participate in that anymore.
Yeah.
So you roll down to Atlanta, and now it's like, oh, Michael Penix Jr. and Tua Tagovailoa are both recovering from injury. So Moorhead Dragons go crazy on UDFA. Jack Strand is taking the #1 reps.
Holy cow.
For the Falcons right now. So sad news for Stefanski's bunch with Walker being out with the ACL. He doesn't get to use his quarterbacks in camp for now as they both recover from injury. So Jack Strand getting some cool opportunities with Stefanski's team.
I think they signed Tua before Kevin got there. I think. Which, if you believe Stefanski wasn't completely on board with the Deshaun Watson trade, and the owner and Andrew Berry, the general manager, kind of pushed it through, and Stefanski was just like, yes, boss, 3 bag full, yes, boss, have you any wool? If you believe that, and I do, that was a forced hand, and I can't see Stefanski eyeballing Tua Tagovailoa and saying, well, that's my guy.
That's gotta be an Arthur Blank, or I forget. Is it still Terry Fontenot, who the GM there? I'd have to dig in.
Know.
But Stefanski was hired before Tua.
Really?
Stefanski was unemployed for like 5 days. I think it was mid-January he got that job. And then Tua was able to sign with him in March. So how that thing all works out, who knows? Let's. In the meantime, we're all rooting for the Moorhead Dragons.
And Adam Kaplan, NFL Insider, elite NFL Insider, radio and TV personality, and elite tweeter. He joins 9 to noon around the corner at FM 100.3 KFAN.
This is 9 to noon, live on iHeartRadio and KFAN, The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK